Hey guys, it's Mrs. Mungia again. Today for reading, we are going to read chapters 7 and 8 in our Hank the Cowdog book. Okay. Chapter 7 begins on 66. Okay. First, we're going to go over some vocabulary words. Our first vocabulary word is dialect. A dialect is different ways that the same language can be spoken. So sometimes people tell me that I have a Texan dialect because sometimes I like to say the word y'all a lot. And so that's kind of a Southern thing or a Texan thing. So sometimes people say I have a different dialect when I speak English. Our next vocabulary word is species. Species is a kind of animal. Okay, so you can have cats and dogs and lizards and skunks. Those are all different kinds of species of animals. Okay. Our next word is lingering. Lingering means that something is very long and continuing, kind of like this coronavirus. The coronavirus is very lingering. Okay, our next word is analyzed. Analyze means to study something, okay? So if I say that I analyzed a species of cats, that means that I studied about a different kind of species of a cat, okay? Our next word is function. Function just means work. Okay, so if I ask you, how does a lawnmower function? So basically I'm asking you, how does a lawnmower work? And our last word is notorious. Notorious means well known for causing trouble. So if we think about Hank the Cowdog, okay, and everything that we've read so far, to me, one of the characters that caused some trouble would be Hank and Drover, because they kind of teamed up together to cause trouble for the boxer. Okay, and Hank has done a lot of notorious things in our book. Okay, so I want you to get your Hank the Cowdog book. Okay, I want you to turn to page 66. It should look like this. Okay, chapter 7, True Love. Actually, there wasn't any breakfast, and then there wasn't any lunch. Along toward the middle of the afternoon, it occurred to me that if I wanted to eat, I would have to get out and hustle some grub. I left camp and lit out north, figuring I would scout the head of the canyon. I hadn't gone very far when I stopped dead in my tracks. I heard something kind of a clanking sound. I slipped behind a bush and studied the country ahead. I kept hearing that sound, but I couldn't see what was causing it. Then my sharp cowdog eyes picked up some movement. At first glance, it appeared to be a medium-sized, bushy-tailed dog stumbling around without a head. Well, that didn't make sense. I'm not so easily fooled. My years of security work told me that there was more to this thing, so I decided to investigate. A dog without a head? I didn't believe it. I moved closer and pieced together the following details. 1. The subject wasn't a dog. He was a coyote, age approximately 3 years and 5 months, weight 37 pounds, length including tail 43 inches. Number 2. He was not a he was a she, meaning a female of the species, rather homely as coyotes tend to be, but not without charm. Number 3. Subject had stuck her head into a Hawaiian punch can with the top cut out. The can had lodged around her ears and gotten stuck there, leaving her blind and helpless. One of the first rules you learn as a cow dog is that cow dogs and coyotes don't mix. They're natural enemies. The former devoted to the protection of home, livestock, and civilization. the later devoted to a dissolute style of life based on raiding, depredation, and uncivilized forms of behavior. In other words, I had every reason to walk away and leave the coyote to her fate. A slow, lingering death. There's one of our words that means very long and continuously. In this business, you can't be sentimental. Still, death inside a Hawaiian punch can seemed too cruel even for a coyote. I just couldn't walk away and leave her to die, even though I had a feeling that if I helped her, I would regret it. Afternoon, ma'am. My name's Hank, the cow dog. Appears to me that you're in distress. When she heard my voice, she bristled and tried to run away. Didn't go far, though. Ran into a rock. She stopped, lay flat on the ground, and didn't move. I recognize this as the natural, sneaky reaction of the coyote breed when you catch them red-handed. If they can't run away, they'll lie flat on the ground. I suppose they think they're blending into the surroundings. It's hard to say what they think. Coyotes are different. You don't need to be afraid, ma'am. I'm here to help you. She didn't say a word or move a muscle. Lie still and I'll see if I can get that thing off your head. I don't know how much of this she understood. Coyotes don't speak the same language as dogs. Don't you see? Some of the words are similar and some aren't. Modern Doglish and the Coyote dialect both come from the same linguistic root, which was the ancient language spoken by our common ancestors many years ago before the species split into Dogus domesticus and Dogus coyoteus. This is pretty technical stuff, and I didn't want to be bored anymore. But it's important that the reader understand these things. Well, it just so happened that I was fluent in the Coyote dialect. Remember dialect, it means a different way of the same language spoken. So I decided to address the lady in her own language. Me, not her, Missy Coyote. Me friend. Me help Missy. Missy have trouble? You not hurt. Her voice echoed inside the can. Me not hurt. Me help Missy Coyote lie still. Not move. Hank fixie real quick. For a long time she didn't speak. Then Missy lie still. It was important that I got the point across to her that I was a friend, don't you see? Because it would have been typical coyote behavior for her to jump up and once I got the can off her head and tear off one of her ears. They're just a little bit crazy, them coyotes, and you've got to be careful. Anyway, she lay still while I hooked my paws around the can and started pulling. I pulled and I tugged and I strained and I grunted, and finally the can popped free. That's when I got my first look at Missy Coyote's face. I'm not to gush or be overwhelmed. Let's get that straight right here. My years in the secretary business have trained me to look upon most things as mere facts. Facts to be gathered and studied and analyzed. I mean, I'd seen women before, lots of them, scads of them. I'd been through times in my life when women were hanging all over me, and I literally couldn't take a step without bumping into an adoring female. If you're a cow dog, you get used to this. It's common knowledge that cow dogs are just a little bit special. Read your dog books. Ask anyone who knows about dogs. Check it out with the experts. They'll tell you that women flip over cow dogs. What I'm saying, and I'm just trying to put it all into perspective, don't you see, is that I wasn't one of these dogs that chased women all the time or even had much interest in them. But you know what? When I seen Missy Coyote's face with those big eyes and that fine tapered nose, I got weak in the legs and kind of swimmy in the head. She was by the George prettiest thing I'd ever laid eyes on. Missy Coyote, pretty. She was still blinking her eyes against the glare of the sun. Guess she'd been in that can for a day or two. When she got used to the sunlight, she looked me over real close. Then she smiled. I melted. I actually fell over and started kicking my legs in the air. It was an unconscious, unwanted response, not the kind of reaction you'd expect from a professional cow dog. But as I've pointed out before, I was only flesh and blood. Missy didn't understand my spasm, I reckon, and she came over. Had her head cocked to the side like this. Oh, well, you can't see. She had her head cocked to the side. What wrong? You sick? Yeah, I'm sick, all right. I need to get out of here. I struggled to my feet and tried to leave, but my back legs didn't function. Not leave, she said. Stay. Tell name. I was sure she could hear my heart beating. I could. It was about to take off the top of my head, to be exact. My Hank! I finally managed to say. Her eyes brightened. Pretty name, Hunk. Not Hunk, Hank. She nodded. Yes, Hunk. Pretty name. Me like Hunk. Whatever you say. Me called girl who drink blood. Girl who drink blood. She nodded and smiled. You like? There wasn't a whole lot of poetry in that name, seemed to me. Her old lady, or whoever named her, must have been a real barbarian. Me no like. Me call you Missy Coyote. Like Missy Coyote Moreso. Bloody name, not pretty. She laughed. Bloody name pretty to Coyote. Coyote like blood. Make grow strong. Keep hair pretty in winter. Hunk no like blood in winter. Hank eat co-op dog food in winter. No need blood. What means co-op dog food? No can't explain. Too complicated. Why Hunk here, not at people place, with many buildings and houses with chicken. Hank get mad at people, quit job. People no understand. Hank no more guard chicken. Hank follow outlaw trail. Her eyes widened. Outlaw trail dangerous. Live out in wild, coyote around. Coyote not like Hunk. I decided it was time to turn on some of my charm, just a little at a time. Didn't want to give the girl the full load of all at once. Missy Coyote like Hunk. Hank. She smiled. Mercy. Made me weak in the legs again. Missy think Hunk cute. Aw, heck, really? Me cute? Her smile faded. But other coyote not think so. Missy had brother named Squanch. Not like ranch dog. Hurt if fined. You're Scraunch's sister? She nodded. I knew about Scraunch, the most notorious outlaw coyote in the whole country. So there's our word outlaw. Not outlaw. Notorious, which is well known for causing trouble. He was big, mean, and utterly heartless. He probably killed more chickens and barn cats than any 3 coyotes on the ranch. And it was common knowledge that he'd kill a stray dog just for the sport of it. As a matter of fact, me and Scraunch had met on the field of battle and had fought to draw, which I had considered a victory. That was back in the winter, January as I recall. Yes, it was. Because we fought in the snow. Scraunch was a real thug. How can a nice girl like you have such a bad brother? She shook her head. Hunk, be careful. Maybe go back ranch. Not safe here. I leaned forward and nuzzled her under the chin with the end of my nose. I ain't scared. Hank ready to fight whole family for Missy. I noticed that she started trembling. Thought maybe it was the result of my charm. Then she whispered, Hunk in trouble. Whole family here, huh? I looked around. She wasn't kidding. The whole dang family had arrived. We was surrounded by lean-limbed, long-haired, scruffy-tailed, yellow-eyed, slack-jawed, hungry-looking coyotes. I was in trouble, fellas, and had a feeling that a wreck was coming. Okay, so that is the end of chapter 7. What I want you guys to do now is I want you to look at your comprehension questions that I'm going to be sending you. Okay, you have vocabulary that we went over at the beginning. Okay, look at where it says wisdom for cow dogs. One of the first rules you'll learn as a cow dog is that cow dogs and coyotes don't mix. They're natural enemies. Okay, stuff to ponder for a while. True love. Hank takes one look at Missy's face and decides he is in love. He doesn't know anything about her, only what she looks like. He is ready to fight off a whole band of coyotes for her, just because she looks pretty. But what if she turns out to be awful in every other way? So as the saying goes, true love just doesn't have a pretty face. Okay, you have to look inside of a person, okay, to really look at what kind of person they are, about, their heart and their feelings. Okay, looks aren't everything, because as you get older, looks are going to fade. Okay, and you won't have them anymore. Okay, and so where it says quiz, this is not an actual quiz. It's just going to be questions. If you want, you can cross it out and write questions. So I want you to go back and look at chapter 7 if you need to. Use your book for this, okay? And I want you to complete questions 1 through 10. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. Have fun reading. Bye.